So we'll open code blocks. In code blocks, we'll go to File, New, File, and we'll create C++ source, Go, C++, next. Then we'll write, let's say, hello. We'll write some name for the file. Okay. Then we'll click on three dots and then it will open the folder. Automatically, the type is C++ over here because the way we selected the file type, and then save, then finish. Okay. So hello.cpp is created. Now I will type my program. Hash include iostream. Okay, you can type along with me. You can use any online compiler as well for now, but I suggest that you just try this out. So using namespace std, we'll understand everything what we are writing. Right now I'm just typing it out. Int main cout hello world. So typically, whenever you learn any new programming language, this is the first thing that we say through our program. We say hello to the world. Okay. So then we return 0. Okay. So this is our program and we have saved it. Now let me click on this icon, which means build and run. And you can see the output window. Hello world. Okay. Process return 0. Execution time is so and so. Press any key to continue. Let's break down each and every word and symbol in this program for our clear understanding. The first symbol that we have over here is hash. This is also called as a pound symbol or a hash symbol. Then you have the include. Include. So together hash and include are called as the preprocessor directive. Okay. So hash include. Include means, you know, bring in something or add something. Now what do you want to bring in or what do you want to add? Let's say you want to borrow a toolbox from your friend. Okay. And that toolbox is iostream. Where are you borrowing that toolbox from? You're borrowing it from the library. Okay. So now, whenever you say that you install a particular language in your computer, let's say you say that I have installed Java, I have installed C++, that means there will be certain folders which will have folders like include, bin, src. So if you actually do that, if you actually install, if you're working on Windows, you'll install, let's say, mingw, and you go to the directory and you see the folders. So all those folders have different libraries. Okay. So and the libraries have different toolboxes, you can imagine it that way. So here you are including, you're adding in the toolbox called as iostream. Now iostream has many tools, it's a toolbox. So which tool do you want out of all the tools? You want a tool called as cout, because input output stream. So input output, here we want to do o stream output. Okay. So o stream, that is output ke liye we want cout, and that is what we are including or we are getting from the iostream toolbox. Okay. So hash include iostream, before the compiler actually compiles or translates the program, the preprocessor is another program which takes care of all these lines that begin with hash. So hash include tells the preprocessor to copy paste this entire library or this entire toolbox. There will be an IO stream somewhere in the library which is installed on your computer. When you're installing C++, it will be installed, the folder will be there. So from there, the entire iostream toolbox, iostream library will be copied in your program. Will you be able to see it? No. That is done internally. There are some intermediate or some temporary files internally generated by the preprocessor, by the compiler, and it works behind the scenes to produce the output that you can see, right? So there will be an intermediate or temporary file generated behind the scenes, and it will include your program But in addition to your program, on top of it, there will be the contents of the IOStream toolbox, which will include cout also. Okay. So now moving to the next, the second line. Using, I want to use. What do I want to use? Namespace. What is a namespace? Namespace is like a folder name. Okay. And what is the name of the folder? STD. Now, STD is again a predefined folder. It stands for standard. STD full form is standard. Okay. And then there is a semicolon. Okay. Preprocessor directive does not have a semicolon at the end of it, but now the compiler has to understand that the line number 2 is a sentence of its own. Now in English, how do you end a sentence? You can end it with a full stop, you can end it with a exclamation mark, or you can end it with a question mark. Okay, so similarly, if you want to indicate that the sentence has ended, you will write a semicolon to indicate that. Okay. Now, what does this mean? The second line, this means that I want to use things from the standard folder. So I don't have to write the folder name every time I use something from that folder. So when we hover over cout, we see that it says ostream std double colon cout. What does this mean? So std is the namespace, double colon is called as the scope resolution operator. Don't worry, there are a lot of terms which I am mentioning right now. We'll study those in detail in the upcoming sessions. But just to introduce briefly, this is a scope resolution operator. This means cout lies in a folder called as std. So if you don't write this line number 2, every time you write cout, you will have to write std and then double colon and then cout. Right? That's too much work, and better write it once over here. Right? Similarly, endl. Endl is also, if you see, endl is also std double colon endl. Just ignore everything that comes before and after it. That is beyond the scope of this first lecture in programming. But the only point I want to tell you is endl also belongs to that same program, sorry, same folder, that is std. So cout is also from the standard folder. Endl is also from the standard folder. Endl stands for end the line. Okay, we'll come to that part. But wherever you are writing cout, wherever you are writing endl, everywhere you'll have to prefix it with std and then double colon, which is a lot of work. So instead of that, we'll just write using namespace standard just once. Okay. Then let's move on to the next part. Int main. Int is short for integer. What is integer? Integers you have studied in maths. Integers are whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Main is the name of our function. Now, what is a function? Think of it like there is a recipe, and in that recipe there are different sets of instructions, stepwise instructions, right? And main is the name of that recipe or name of that list of instructions. Okay, so main is special because this is the point where the program execution begins. So no matter how long your program is, 1000 lines, 2000 lines, it contains a lot of other functionalities and everything, but the compiler will compile it, and when the the microprocessor or the execution environment will actually run it, the execution will begin at main. Okay, execution will begin at main. So that is the speciality of main. Now the round brackets, parenthesis in front of main, indicate that this is a function. Okay, function always will have parenthesis in front of it. Will the parenthesis always be empty like it is over here? No. In this case it is empty, means that we are not passing any ingredients to this recipe. This recipe has mentioned everything inside it. We are not passing anything to the parenthesis. Okay. So basically, if we are passing any parameters to a function, then we mention those parameters in the brackets, like what inputs it takes. Okay. So those things are mentioned in the parenthesis. But in this case, parentheses are empty, means that nothing is passed to the function. Parameter list is empty. Then we have the opening and closing curly brackets. So opening curly bracket means the recipe instructions begin over here, and closing curly bracket means the recipe instructions end over here. What have we written? What is our recipe? See out. See out is pronounced as see out, not cout, or it's see out. Okay. See out means print on the screen. Okay. The double less than symbols point towards the see out. If you see the pointed end of these, if you think of them like arrow, right? Although they are less than symbols, just visualize for a minute that they are arrows pointing towards the left. So they are pointing towards see out, right? So they mean send this to see out. Okay. Then we have the double quotes. So double quotes tell the compiler this is the text to print exactly as written. Okay, whatever is there inside the double quotes will not be, interpreted as something else. So this is just as it is to be printed. This is a message. Okay, end L means end line. So it's like pressing enter on your keyboard. If you have done typing a sentence, done typing a line, and you want whatever next you want to type to be on a new line, then you press enter. So that's like inserting one new line character or pressing the enter. That is end L. Okay, end L means end line. And then again semicolon means this line, this instruction is over. This instruction is over. What was the instruction? See out hello world end L. So if you start from here, start from right and go towards the left, that means end L is follow the arrow. So end L is passed, and before that hello world is passed. Where are they going? They are going inside see out. Okay, so they are going inside see out. Now what is see out? What are they going inside? So think of it like a pipeline. So visualize that these things are moving. So Endel and Hello World are moving inside this opening of a tunnel called as see out, and they are at the end of the tunnel. You have the output window that you saw just now. Okay, so when I run this, so these Hello World and Endel, this train with two compartments or two coaches just entered this tunnel called as see out, and now when I execute this, I can see this hello world appears. So imagine that there is another tunnel over here, tunnel opening is over here, and from here hello world and then endel. Okay, so those things come out of the tunnel. So hello world comes out first, it is printed, then endel will come out afterwards, and that will cause one empty line to be inserted. If you can see, this is because of the empty line. If there was something else typed, it won't be typed over here, or it won't be printed over here. It will be printed on the new line or the next line. So that is how it works. And finally we have return 0. Now return means give back, right? Return something. Now every function, just like in our pseudo code, in our flow charts, we see that something is printed or something is returned, right? And then it stops. So before stopping, return something. So after returning, it can stop, right? So return means give back. Now 0 is a number that means everything worked fine. So this tells the execution environment that I am done, everything went well. So now you can stop the execution, or I indicating that my execution is over. And then the closing curly bracket, as we had discussed, the recipe ends over there. Okay, now what happens when you press build and run? The compiler did four things very fast. Let me explain each step. First is reading and understanding, that is pre-processing. First, the computer reads our program. When it sees hash include IOStream, it goes and gets that toolbox. It's like the computer saying, oh, they want to use cout. Let me get those tools ready. Then there is compilation or translation. Computers don't understand English or even C++. They only understand ones and zeros, which we have discussed in our previous lectures. So the computer should translate our English like code or C++ code into ones and zeros. So that is the second step, compilation. After the compilation, everything is connected. Now, what is connected exactly? So remember that IOStream toolbox, that computer connects it to our program. Reprocessor will copy paste it over here, but the connection will happen using the linking step. Okay, And finally, the computer runs our translated and linked program. It starts at main and follows our instructions step by step. Cout, hello world, endl. So hello world and endl enter the cout tunnel and come out on the output screen, and hello world is printed. Okay, coming out from this tunnel, hello world is printed. So the technical word for that is stream. So that is what is meant by input output stream. In this case, it's the output stream, right? So cout hai to output stream. So that's it for the first video. Now comes the attendance checkpoint 1. Very simple. In our program, what does the word main mean and why is it important? So you have to reply in this format: question 1, then write your answer and follow it at the end by your name. Okay, thank you.